from CMO, and because they will not be going as a board to city council, we should not have discussion in this forum until we actually have a report that actually gives guidance from this commission to city council. So that's why the communication will be accepted at this time from commissioners to discuss and give in policy requirements, because it won't be minutes. So it's directors who are have a further word here that actually kind of explain the process for future input from this commission. And that will be what taken right to city council.
Thank you so much. So first I'd like to welcome everybody again, and again, this is Marcos Seguda. And I thought, since we do have a new commissioner today, I thought we have one. It would be really helpful to go around the room and for every commissioner to introduce themselves. I would like you to give your geographic area that you represent, and also maybe your title of your day job, or what you do outside of the commission. That's okay. So we'll start with Commissioner Sarah, please.
I'm Sarah Nichols, appointed by Karen Bass. I'm a retired environmental attorney, specialized in severe quality issues. And I want to do something having to do with climate. No, Karen, and she probably has something to do.
Yeah, I would like to also remind everyone that please be considered mic so they can be recorded. Thank you. Reason people can hear that.
Yeah, we say again.
No, that would be perfect, actually.
Mr. Jacobs, do you hear Commissioner Jacobs with the 7th geographically distinct community. I am somewhat retired from my paying job, retired from the South Bay Cities Council of Governments regarding homelessness solutions, and I'm the homelessness liaison of the 2 neighborhood councils in the San Pedro community. I was appointed through CD 15, Tim McCosker, and I honestly, I had applied to be a commissioner on women's equity or housing, and they picked this one. And they said it's because of my experience with homelessness and how that could tie into how impacted areas are affected by extreme weather. So I'm very much looking forward to more participation. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Crystal Romero. I am representing organized labor. I am the press secretary at the LA County Federation of Labor, AFL-CIO. Really taking your shirt, by the way.
Awesome, yes, good afternoon again, everyone. Commissioner Jacqueline Vallejo. I'm also appointed by Mayor Eric Garcetti. And so I was served on the Las Neighborhood Council for 7 years. I had the privilege of working with our fellow commissioner over here with the homelessness. We did start the CD 15 homeless working group together. I'm part of that group, but outside of this position, I also serve as the president of the Assembly District K5, right? The climate emergency. Now, I like to say climate emergency over here, but we just call it environmental safety commission. There's a lot of great work being done in the larger LA County, and so serving on that commission, I would like to also compliment what we can do here, as we are all involved in so much work outside of here. And so outside of, I also serve as the director of Boston Air and Energy Committee. We focus on environmental justice in many different ways. All of the elements, water, air, the soil, anything you could think of, especially just transition. I'm happy to serve. Here you are.
Hi everyone, Mike Young. This is my first meeting, so I'm a long-time follower, first-time caller. I represent the 6th geographic San Fernando Valley, appointed by Mayor Bass, or as I know her, first as Speaker Bass, the working in state politics for as the local director for California Environmental Voters for just under 2 decades. Thank you.
Hey everyone, Peter Ramirez, second youth member, daytime job, just graduated from UCLA, grad, yeah, studying consulting for government relations.
Good afternoon, Mike Martinez, founder and executive director of LA Compost. I represent the second geographic district. I was appointed by Governor City. And yeah, really excited to be here and contribute as it relates to all things soils, regenerative agriculture, and food scrap diversion, and SB 1383 and a lot of laws that are being statewide.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rodrigo Taylor, here on the representative for the Mike, I currently in Tabia, which is one of the indigenous groups on this commission. I think that our president for my tribe, which is currently in Tabia, managed Indians, and we work in a lot of spaces around the time. The report that came out in January, February, on our website, if you look. Our ancestral territory in South Carolina Valley hosted online. The other one of the major projects that we're working on currently right now is we're listening for cities or areas where there's one. We plant trees, so use the water footprint that we consume here in Los Angeles. So I think we're probably this commission peaceful and start navigating and fully policies for the needed perspectives.
It works in city climate change, policy expert, they job sustain other.
Hello, my name is Monica Mejia, and I represent the 4th Geographic District, and my day job is I'm the president of it's the East LA Community Corporation. So our region is at Coral Heights, East LA. It's an affordable housing. We're a nonprofit. We have apartments for homeless folks. We also have general affordable apartments, and we're in a large decarbonization process with our portfolio right now, and we just figured out how to plant a micro forest in one of our properties. So exciting.
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Starr, and I am a youth. I'm currently the first youth member here. I was appointed by Mayor Bass. My day job, I'm deputy campaign manager on the state assembly race. Charlie M. Warren for California State Number District 57, downtown South LA. Thank you for that. She wasn't works fine. I'm our so yeah, that's what I do. That's what I came from, and that's what I go to after this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. And speaking of youth commissioners, I want to take this opportunity to thank our commissioner, David Ramirez, for his really thoughtful leadership. From the very first meeting, he came in with some really wonderful ideas, but unfortunately, he's not only terming out, but he has a wonderful fellowship working at Forum. But I want to take this moment to thank him and wish him the best in his future endeavors, and hopefully we continue to cross paths, Commissioner Ramirez and so as was mentioned earlier, in order to overcome some of these challenges that this commission has, because the Climate Emergency Mobilization Office is under the Board of Public Works, so essentially, as an executive director, I report to 2 boards, right? The Board of Public Works and also the Climate Emergency Mobilization Commission. And it's because of that that we have to be super careful in the way that this commission directs me as your executive director on what steps to take, right? And so something that I strategized and figured out is to come up with a calendar of themes that are climate themes across the city, climate initiatives, climate projects that aren't necessarily directly under CMO, but they're the projects that the city is investing in, and the projects that all of you are interested in, whether it's trees, whether it's decarbonization, et cetera. We can bring those projects here to you, have them presented, and then it will create a much better, I think, synergy and dialogue so that you all can, A, know the projects that the city's already working on, and then comment on how you feel, we should take some additional steps. And you can direct those recommendations to me, and then I can take those recommendations to the council. And that's basically how I think that framework will work. So by the next meeting, which I believe we're scheduling for September, I will come up with this calendar of events for this commission, so that we can have a more fruitful dialogue and conversation. Because if we were to focus on the work of SEMO, then that's when it gets a little complicated, right? Like our heat action plan, even though we will present on our heat action framework today and our heat action plan, I want to make sure that you all understand the where we are and where we're going. The conversation will be a lot more fruitful. Talking about citywide strategic initiatives around climate. A lot of my other report was going to basically repeat some of the things that the city attorney has already mentioned, but again, I just want to mention that the advisory powers are limited to advise the city council through the executive director, because we have these two commissions kind of over the time of emergency mobilization office. Maybe that's something that we can overcome later, legislatively, who knows? But at the moment, this is how the legislation appears to work. So I also wanted to take a moment and thank my staff. For here today, Rebecca Galloway, my management, engagement, and logistics coordinator, and then Christine Lee, private policy management analyst, and then we have our deputy officer, Ames. And Amy Clark isn't here, she's our deputy operations, but it really takes a village, and we just lost our commission executives. She transferred out to Lawa, so we congratulate her. But it really takes a village to create the logistics of this meeting, so I'm really grateful to you for helping stuff. I think I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to repeat anything the city attorney said. But I think the exciting part is moving forward, we will have an agenda with things that we want to talk about. So I'll keep the presentation of the heat action framework for the next item.
And President Badejo, Commissioner Hernandez joined us a few moments ago, so I'd like to invite her to join the commission.
Yes. All right, and then you can introduce yourself, because I hope you're the other introductions. Welcome.
Yes, welcome, Commissioner. We're gonna yield the floor to you to introduce yourself. Your position, your on the commission, and what you do outside of the commission.
Thank you.
And also, please speak into the mic.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chair Hernandez, for an opportunity to be heard. Born and raised in South Central, I am a commissioner for the Civil Commission. And I am a community organizer at Community Coalition, project coordinator, social justice work in South Florida. Pleasure to be here and I'm excited to meet you all.
Welcome.
Awesome, we welcome you. And so, thank you, Executive Director, for your report. And now we would like to move to the next agenda item, which is agenda item number 5. And here, this item is the presentation on FEMO to draft key action framework and strategies. Executive Director Stewart will present an overview and timeline of FEMO's draft, the key action framework, the HAP, HAF, and strategies. This item, as our lawyer instructed, it is to receive and file, and it is provided for informational purposes only. I yield the floor to you, Executive Director.
All right. So, speaking of gratitude, I want to thank our deputy officer coordinators for putting most of the slides together. There's a more longer slide deck that we've created, but we wanted to shorten it for today. So basically, our heat action framework is a preliminary step before launching the process of a heat action and resilience plan. And what I can tell you is that we needed to work over several months with heat action plans from other cities, best practices. We reviewed lots of documentation, did work with Arab as well as other consultants to come up with a framework for this plan. We also did a lot of community engagement. Some of you heard that we had recently a community assembly, but even before that, we had surveys and polling and focus groups to come up with this preliminary framework. So we were proud that it was a co-designed framework, but we still have more engagement with the community and definitely more engagement with other city leaders through the mayor's climate cabinet. So Seymour has also been nominated to be part of the mayor's climate cabinet, and we will be leading the working group on keep resilience. I might have gotten that wrong. Or what's a extreme heat and climate resilience working group. And that's really amazing and wonderful, I think, because it gives us a platform within the mayor's office and the mayor's climate cabinet to speak to all the general managers and leaders across the city that are responsible for not just climate action, but specifically where it intersects with extreme heat. Okay. So next slide, please. Next slide should be our timeline. So I'm reading where my boss is, because I don't know if it's but basically, we're gonna start as soon as we were actually expecting to hear from the state of California regarding a grant opportunity that we applied for to launch our framework to get working on our heat action plan. But we'll start it anywhere between July and December. It's more looking like November or December, where we will begin meeting to ensure that most of the city that has relevant areas, strategic areas of extreme heat is involved and engaged. We'll be working with communities and focus groups and surveys as of January and June of 2025. We hope to develop and finalize the plan by April 2025, March, I believe that's supposed to be March 2025. Or 2026.
It's a long process.
It's a long process, okay, perfect, I'm glad you're right there, Ms. Cindy. So we finalized the plan in April, July 2026, and distributed in August and December. So it's actually short, it used to be 2027. So of course, it's done some streamlining to make it a little briefer so that we can get it out sooner. But a lot of these projects are already ongoing. As you know, the city has already embarked upon a lot of climate action and extreme projects. But what this plan will do will be more than a plan. It'll have tracking and accountability. So it will help us ensure that we're reporting back to the community and that we're helping the other departments and divisions convey and communicate their progress to one another, to the city, and to the members of the community. So that's really, I think, one of the added benefits of having this plan, and it also reinforces the commitment of the city of LA as the first city in the West Coast to have a heat action plan with the state of California and FEMA. And as you know, FEMA has been gaining a lot of let me see what FEMA is, if I can remember. The Federal Emergency Management Agency that addresses climate hazards across the nation has never really integrated extreme heat as a disaster. So right now, that's a conversation and policy that's being advocated for so that FEMA can support and help cities across the nation recover and address extreme heat more strategically, more preventatively, and also perhaps even fund things like cooling centers and hydration stations. And because most cities, including Los Angeles, don't necessarily have an extra budget for extreme heat as a disaster and disaster prevention. So that would be a really wonderful thing to do. So we do hope that having this heat action plan will draw down more funds for the city of LA. And then next slide, we're talking about this facts and strategies with facts in space.
Just a moment.
Have to have them.
We'll get rid of like, they are, right? Cats and cat babies that would be like. Okay, so, actually, we heard a lot of what the state of California did for their extreme heat plan. But in addition to the first 4 tracks, which are public awareness campaigns and strengthening extreme heat response and community resilience. And of course, the resilience of our built environment and transportation system. And most importantly, nature-based solutions like trees and open space. We added that 5th track that I talked about earlier to develop a citywide monitoring, evaluation, and accountability structure. There's a lot of amazing plans out there, but because of the support of the Office of the Mayor and the kind of cabinet, I think that'll give us a real catalyst to ensure that we have a strengthened monitoring and accountability system. We are working on identifying a platform that hopefully is customized to the city of LA and to this heat action and resilience plan that will help us succeed in tracking and accountability. So those are the 5 main tracks. And at some point, we'll be able to email you the whole entire heat action framework so you can review it as well. Next slide, please. One of the most fun things that we do, and also one of the most important things that we do, is launch an annual Heat Relief for LA campaign. This is the 3rd year that we've launched it, and this heat season has proven to be the hottest on record for the world, and also we've never had such a hot July. In September is typically when we received or experienced the longest, most frequent heat waves, and now we've experienced them in July. And even though it is the hottest, they will continue to get hotter. And that's why we need to act on this. And we need to have systems change. That is, the city needs to do its part with the built environment, transportation, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, providing more cooling centers, and creating a network of cooling centers and hydration stations and more livability and mobility. So that's a given. But we also need to create better public awareness because those solutions can't come fast enough to prevent, both hospital visits and preventable deaths that all of these cities that are experiencing extreme heat are experiencing. So these public awareness campaigns are with dozens of nonprofit organizations. Next year, we want to include more private organizations, both museums and businesses like coffee houses, coffee shops, some restaurants and fast foods, because all of these places, including malls, can serve as places where our community pools. And we found through our surveys and focus groups that people just don't know that they can go to their public library for cooling, or that we have Oregon Park facilities as cooling centers. So the more that we can convey that in multiple languages and multiple disenfranchised communities, the better. And now we have heat materials, I believe, in 15 different languages and growing. And our public service announcements, which are on the next slide, we can go on to the next slide, Rebecca, are in 4 different languages now. And you may have seen these at the bus shelters already. So each year we're increasing the number of languages that we have with our PSA campaigns. We also had a door-to-door promotora community health educator campaign as a pilot this year, and we hope to expand that next year. And all of the organizations that are part of our Heat Relief partnership network are also distributing these to their members at their events, at their meetings, in their offices. And we're just really excited to see this campaign continue to grow. And all of our metrics will be reported at our semi-annual report to the Board of Public Works, and also in our report to the Office of the Mayor at the end of the fiscal year. So, and we have copies of these, and if you need copies, just come downstairs after the meeting. And in addition to that, if your organization wants to join the partnership network, we welcome you to join that partnership network so that you can get all of our communications and information and stay up to date with all of the new projects that we're embarking on. Next. Oh, these are just pictures out there in the wild, one's next to a street vendor, which I love, and then kids just kind of going, okay, what does it say? And that's the other thing, it's a very visual public service announcement, as you can see. Instead of just writing down what all the symptoms are for heat exhaustion, it actually, Lalo Alcaraz, this really iconic artist, did this for us. We just drew them out for people to visually see, which is great. And I've seen a lot of posts on social media with other people posting out there. Well, so I invite you to do that. If you see it while you're walking down the street, take a picture of it, either repost it on social media or send it to CMO. Next, please. And these are just some special projects, well, maybe I shouldn't call them special, but they're projects that we're doing in coordination with the Office of the Mayor. Of course, I told you about the Mayor's Private Cabinet. We're also advising on extreme heat during the LA 2028 Olympic Games quarterly meetings, and we're having some additional conversations about that in between the quarterly meetings. As you all heard, and it's very hot in Paris, and it's causing some logistical challenges for the athletes, and those are things that we'd like to avoid for our Olympics. Our staff serve to advise Green Latinos through a USDA-funded grant program on greening grants across the city of Los Angeles. So I think that announcement will be made quite soon of who all the grantees are. So watch out for that on our newsletter. We also serve on a community-based air quality monitoring effort with AQMD, the Southern California AQMD. And we're exploring a microinsurance program for cooling centers. And I don't know if you've heard of microinsurance, but they used it in India, they used it in Mexico, and basically it's a strategy to ensure that some of the most vulnerable communities get funding after a disaster. So it's an exploration that we want to continue with to see if it's something that's feasible for our cooling centers and also for our vulnerable communities in LA. And then a big part of what we do, as I've discussed, is heat risk communications. And we coordinate with the Office of the Mayor on media communications. Next. And these are obvious policy priority areas. The heart of the heat action resilience plan. We're going to prioritize heat risk vulnerability analysis with communities across Los Angeles this year. We are in our heart or heat action resilience plan, prioritizing heat mitigation and response for the climate action and adaptation plan. We also just launched a pilot with the LA Public Libraries, where they've added additional cooling centers that are open on Sundays during a heat wave or a heat alert. And if we can get back the data for that, we hope to expand those libraries opening on Sundays, because typically there's only 12 libraries that are open on Sundays. We have 73 libraries total, and we need more of them open on Sundays to serve as cooling centers for those communities that lack air conditioning. And when I look at the numbers of, like, for example, South Los Angeles, East Los Angeles, and parts of the valley, those numbers are pretty high. You think that people wouldn't want to step out of their homes to go to public library or public facility, but they do because they don't have AC at home, and it's a matter of life and death. So we're really looking forward to expanding that network. As we transition, right, to having heat pumps and cooling and decarbonization of more of our existing buildings and our new buildings. And then finally, we want to align and launch the heat vulnerability assessment with our heat action and resilience plan. Great. So as you see, we're super busy. There might be a couple more slides, but I think I want to end it there. The last part are all of the tracks and strategies that are part of the framework. And you have those in your folder. I just encourage you to look at those. And they're in your folder. And this is just something that we put at the end of most of our presentations, and it's all on our website. And hopefully you'll look through this and see where you can join us, as an individual. And then what resources you want to peruse through that you can share with your communities. So, thank you. I think I'm just gonna skip through all the strategies real quick because we don't wanna overdo the presentation.
Okay. That takes us through the end with the strategies.
Okay, great. I'll have it back over to Chair Division.
Yes, thank you, the executive directors, for that presentation. There's a lot of great work being done. And we look forward to supporting this work further. And so now we're closing out agenda item number 5, and we can now move to agenda item number 6, which is a presentation from the executive director, Marcus Georgia, on CBO's Climate Equity LA Year 2 process report overview. And again, for this item, it is to receive and file, and it is provided for informational purposes.
I would like to ask the chair to table that presentation for the next meeting, because we're still finalizing the numbers and the analysis for that process report. My apologies.
No problem, and so, for agenda item number 6, I would like to call for a motion to, table this item, in a second. A motion, okay, I motion by the, let me, Commissioner Burr. Are there any, are there any, no, I want to call for the vote, kids, right? It's been a long day, and he hasn't been getting, pull my own stuff. And so, who would like to vote yes to the table, is my, show your hands down. We have a unanimous vote of our now 12 commissioners who are here today. And so, this motion to table passes, and, would you like to?
Thank you, President Badejo. For the record, that's motion Badejo, second Ferguson, 12 ayes, 0 noes, 0 abstentions, and 4 absences.
Awesome, we thank you, Rebecca. And so that moves us to our next agenda item, which is announcements. And for this particular item, I would like to first ask you, Executive Director, if you have any announcements. First that.
No, I'm not at the moment. Thank you though for starting the communication.
No problem. Okay, now, I show in, for commissioners and they have any announcements to share, so please, I look forward to you. Please say your name and your announcement.
Hello, my name is Monica Mejia. And I wanted to tell you guys about some work that we're doing in the Will Heights East LA neighborhood. There is an EPA grant that's available right now. The maximum amount of the grant is $20 million. So it's a lot of money. I think there's going to be 3 applications going in from the community I work in. One of them is a joint application with Lacey and several other nonprofits as well. I can't remember all the names, but there's like about 6 of us in the group. And then I think Eli is going to do another one, and then the kind of work that we're doing in the community is, well, I'll tell you kind of like that. Eli is more focused on this decarbonization. We recently decarbonized 2 buildings. We've achieved that all of the county. And water heaters, and then so one building is about 30% done right now, and it's about to get going. We've also been getting some grants to do some green spaces. So as mentioned earlier, we have the river forest. We have a hillside that's in the Australian neighborhood, a hillside. Yeah, we are going to be. We figured out how to provide that. There's like internal period we have the water after that. We'll calculate trees, so it was fall. So it's going to be a tremendous meeting there, and then we have another community garden that works, which we have to go for that one. But the third phase is this big EPA grant. One of the things I would like to do is maybe 1 or 2 resiliency centers. So we have 2 pretty big properties that are pretty good option for that. And they're like, one is like a big theater space, and then the other one is right on the corner, which is across the street. And so it's really cool story building. So those 2, we already have a resiliency center in Oil Heights, it's part of the 3. The community, we didn't get them funded and get them set up. And then in addition, we'd be decarbonization process for another 100 apartments. We own about 1,000 apartments. So this is, by the time we get this done, we'll probably be about 20% of our properties decarbed. So making some substantial progress there. And I said, if we're lucky, we'll be pulling down 3 grants, maybe 1 million each, maybe 16 million bucks. So big progress there. I'll be doing more coordination with other folks in the city of LA, of course, all the companies that are in the plan, the resiliency center probably in the LA, and the decon work is now also.
Awesome, that's great work. Yes, I believe I saw.
So I just wanted to let folks know, Crystal Romero with the LA County Federation of Labor. We are partnering with some of our affiliates, the United Food Commercial Workers, as well as SoCal Posh. We are doing a health and safety expo on Saturday, August 10th at the Electrical Training Institute in Commerce. We're also partnering with the Los Angeles County Building Trades to put on this expo. It is for workers, and there's gonna be different workshops in workplace violence prevention, key illness and safety, know your rights, as well as how to file a California complaint. So we are asking folks to register. I have flyers, the registration code in English and Spanish. If you'd like to take it, please do. We want to invite all workers, especially our ones that are working in our most vulnerable jobs out in the heat, to come Saturday, August 10th. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Commissioner Jacobs. Commissioner Jacobs, you're very excited to announce a day of peace. I have flyers to provide for you guys. This is a United Nations International Day of Peace, together with Jane Goodall's 90th birthday celebration. This will be in San Pedro, and Dr. Jane will be attending this event. Absolutely amazing opportunity. It's an eco festival. It's free. They're going to have live music, celebrity guests, youth projects, pet adoptions, food trucks. There will be a lot of environmental groups there. If any of you are involved in an organization that you would like to table there and or be a sponsor, please get together with me after the meeting. I accepted to be in the planning committee. And if you're not familiar with Jane Goodall's Roots and Shoots program, a brief summary is she focuses on empowering organizations, specifically targeting youth organizations, to learn more about our environment through service projects. So if you become a Roots and Shoots partner, you sign up to do 3 service projects, one geared towards helping the environment, one towards humans, and one towards animals. And I've got Girl Scouts involved with this. I've got 3 neighborhood councils signed up to table for this. And I'm chairing for our neighborhood council. We decided to focus on pet adoptions, the overcrowding at the animal shelters is a severe issue, and shade trees. And so I'm looking for information, or staring here, that information with our tree people. So it's just a great way to promote people getting involved. And the chair of this event is one of my closest friends. She and her husband are also friends with Al Gore, and they go around and speak on climate action. So you will see a lot of organizations at this event that are like-minded to the work we're doing. So even if you don't want to have a table there, I really encourage you to attend. And what a great networking opportunity. Thank you. Awesome, great work. Do we have any more announcements from commissioners?
It was July 17th, Lacey partnership with Charging, launched the nation's first multi-manufacturer election vehicles and body equipment hub in South LA. So we're really excited to provide training to those throughout Los Angeles County. That Charging, I believe, will have several trainings for folks that are coming from out of state, to take advantage of the training. But as far as Lacey is concerned, we'll have our first training there starting next week, which is our election vehicles body equipment training partnership charter. So all of this being said, if you all are ever interested in coming to check out the site, feel free to let me know. Certainly we love to show you all around. Really excited to see the opportunity that was presented. This was really spearheaded and made possible by Senator Kamala. She gave us some funding to be able to get the site off the ground. So that's been great for her and all parties involved in it.
Awesome, thank you for sharing, great work. Do we have any more now? Yeah, Commissioner Young.
So I just wanted to mention one more of an FYI, if people are interested in participating, please let me know. So many people are pretty familiar with the United Nations conference on climate, right, which is happening in Azerbaijan this year. But what's lesser known is actually the US Congress of the Party is related to biodiversity. And a lot of the key provisions that actually happen in the climate COP actually start off in the biodiversity COP, right? And it's a place where, because industry is sort of, the oil industry has a very strong presence in the climate COP, which is why last year it's in Dubai, and this year it's in Azerbaijan, but oil countries. But what's different about biodiversity COP is that it typically does not have a lot of industry influence. It's more about local governments, national governments, and nations actually thinking about how to think about biodiversity and its relationship to climate. Notably, Los Angeles is actually a pretty decent player. We've been working with Deadpool Pearson and Amaral and a few other folks in the city, their presence that's coming into COP this year. It's actually in late October, early November. But California itself, as a subnational government, has been a literal world leader on this issue. Secretary of in California are actually sponsoring subnational conference this year. And again, it's one of those lesser known things that actually has an enormous impact, because California, basically in 2022, was the only government in the world that actually had a roadmap to how to reach 30 by 30, right? Which is 30% of our lands and waters by 2030, but also an intersection on how we develop clean energy and how we address biodiversity today. So this is a pretty big piece. It's been largely a volunteer effort, brought by environmentalists, Assemblyman Friedman, and Secretary Griffin and CNRA. But California has a huge delegation there. Everybody's like, oh, this COP actually needs something every other year, not every year. But people are interested in participating, seeing if there's something that they can engage with. Again, all volunteer effort. Actually, no, it's in Cali, Colombia this year, and I'm not necessarily saying you should take a trip to Cali. Probably you should, it's cold. But our program is actually called Cali this year. But the big piece is that we are, as organizations, are actually doing a lot of work, whether you realize it or not, actually related to the biodiversity and climate targets that are in these treaties, international treaties. We are collecting information about what organizations are doing. And you might not even realize that you're actually doing some of that work actually related, but you probably are and don't know it yet. We are meeting, we've been organizing several workshops. The next workshop is in September, virtual, online, so people can come in and out. But if you are interested in participating in any of this or wanting to learn more, please.
Awesome, great work, thank you. Do we have any other announcements on the commissioner? Commissioner Ortega, I was the first you.
Sure, just one, as I mentioned earlier in the introduction, try to give a timing to resiliency plan. It's on our websites, it covers our ancestral territories, so there's all of the San Fernando Valley, part of the city of Los Angeles, all of the So now we're implementing that plan, so it's that way we can, climate change and heat and so on, so it's a good way to look at it. We should. Our website is TATAVIA.org.
Thank you so much, and then, also, commissioners, if you have flyers to your events, please submit it to that, so, we can share with all of us. We can also share it within our networks, and then I guess quickly, I'll go into the announcement, Water Clean Air Energy Committee with our partner, Water Company, we have been, trying to follow the trail of SEMO and been, really working with state houses to become resiliency centers. And so we do have one in Compton and also in Los Angeles, the churches, they are more open and inviting in. They can see the detriment that the extreme heat that's happening on the communities. And so they'll also be able to be cooling centers, and then we designed our own special design for a cooling center model. And so we're gonna be happy to launch that all in the near future. But the reality is, you know, we promote solar so much, but there was a report that said, you know, that in utilities companies, some of them are just having off their energy because we don't have anywhere, you know, for it to go. And so really that battery storage is the most important component of solar today. And so with that, especially as it is a nonprofit, they are able to, especially in the communities that they serve, qualify for the direct pay. And direct pay up to 60% incentive they can receive back on that awakening and use it towards paying it off for, you know, whatever the need is. And so that's something that we've really been pushing again and again. We also are working with South Coast AQMD for the 8617 South LA community. And so they are in their implementation of their community emissions reduction plan. And now there's an opportunity for an additional 10 million for participatory budget projects in the community. And so if you can just type in HUME in South LA, you can learn more information about that. And then also, I guess the California Jobs First, I believe in August, they'll be coming out with their report. We have the opportunity to participate in their environmental sustainability affinity hub. And so with that, it's gonna be all the data. You know, there's a serious gap in the workforce development, especially out in the industry. And so as that new framework is being developed on transitioning the workforce to the green economy, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, right? And so from what everyone has shared, all our agencies are participating. I just look forward to building that pathway and brighter future for our community that we're serving the great city of Los Angeles. And so, if we don't have staff or you are commissioners with announcements, I would like to take us to our final item on the agenda, which is adjournment. And so, I would like to motion to adjourn this meeting and make an announcement of a regular meeting for the Climate Emergency Mobilization Commission, which is scheduled for Tuesday, August 20th, 2024 at 1 p.m. I just want to verify if that's correct. I believe I heard it's September. So I want to make sure.
Well, we're anticipating a September meeting, but we'll be in communication, and Chisakuda will put out an announcement about that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for verifying that. It's well, motion to adjourn in second. Hey, Romero, seconds, got adjourned. Who wants to stay? Who wants to stay? No, I'm doing okay. I think the hand raised. Yes. Well, so thank you so much. Have a great day.